be talk media. Yeah, I wake up no love, this grind divine. Stack my wins, can't waste no time. They were sleeping on a kid, now I'm headline shine.
Tell 'em wake up, it's my time to climb.
Yeah, wake up, it's my time to climb.
Hit that button, 1 million subscribe.
Well, welcome to Be Talk Media. I wake up trying to heal my soul. Money on my mind, but I still want growth. They were sleeping on me, now they watch me glow. I done leveled through the pain, now I'm in my zone, yeah.
Wake my soul.
Yeah, wake my soul.
Wake my soul. Hit that button, 1 million subscribe.
Earlier tonight, as I mentioned, I spoke
Oh,
with Jamaica's
man.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
That was
about
nice.
the impact
That was nice.
of
Now we
Hurricane
got
Melissa
some
and
for
the
y'all.
status of his people. Prime Minister Holness, we thank you for taking the time to speak with us and update us on how your people are doing tonight. How is it right now in Jamaica?
Jamaica has sustained a major impact from a Category 5 hurricane, one of the strongest hurricanes to have hit Jamaica, and certainly within the top 10 strongest hurricanes recorded. The corridor of damage is significant. We have lost hospitals. Certainly, our road infrastructure would have been damaged, which would include bridges, gullies, and waterways. The housing infrastructure would have been severely impacted in the corridor that the hurricane traveled. The hurricane hit the southwestern end of the island and crossed the island going northwards, and it should be now leaving the island, but behind it is a trail of destruction in the corridor of impact.
Prime Minister, I pick up that you're speaking in the past tense. Is that because you already know some of this, or you haven't been able to get communication because all that communication has been knocked out?
Well, when you're hit by a Category 5 hurricane, it's highly unlikely that you will be able to have communications uninterrupted. So in some parts of the island, communication is down. Electricity would be down as well, some preemptively. But we are still able to keep contact right across Jamaica. So what I'm giving you would be the summary of reports to date, to this point.
Is it fair to say, because the hurricane is...
Man.
Did he just call that a summary of report?
That's the summary of the report. They still have some communication across Jamaica. They do know that, a lot of the communications and resources is down, but they getting them back up pretty quickly. Just they got hit pretty hard, but they gonna survive is what he's saying in the long run.
Yes, sir.
So that was, that right there is a blessing to Jamaica. Those that hunker down. Those that hunkered down, those that was able to get off the island. We pray for Cuba, the DR, Haiti, because we know they getting ready to get hit next.
Man, that hurricane is just traveling. I'm glad that people actually do watch the news, watch these media outlets, and they keep informed, because you never know when something like this can happen in these places, especially if you live in those areas. You gotta stay alert. You gotta be alert.
Yeah, because this is one of those, man. We'll finish listening while we're talking, but look at the winds. 145 miles an hour.
We have no sense of how
175 mile an hour gusts. Could you imagine that? Now think about a car.
We're getting assessment through our national emergency operation.
True that.
Driving down the street and a motorcycle comes flying past you at 150.
It would only be after the passage of the hurricane and it is safe to conduct proper damage assessment that we will see the full picture. But the picture right now suggests that damage within the corridor of impact is significant.
What has been the most concerning report you've gotten so far from anyone out there in Jamaica?
Well, the impact on our hospital system, areas that have been impacted,
medical facilities.
2 or 3 hospitals have been severely damaged.
That's the biggest
Clearly,
concern
impacts
right now is the
on
medical
road
facilities.
infrastructure. We have
Oh my
seen
God. They said
landslides
almost
and
30 people has
rivers
lost their lives
retaking
so
their
far.
original
Oh my
courses and
God. This is
destroying property along their banks.
That they know
And
of.
of course,
that. Yeah.
the loss of
That
roofs
they
and
know of.
housing.
Just look at the
Have you
eye of
heard
that
any reports
storm
about
as
any
it went
loss of
across
life, or is it
Jamaica
simply
into
too
Cuba.
early?
That eastern
We've
side of Cuba
confirmed
was just
3
like, man,
lives lost before the impact of the hurricane, before landfall of the hurricane. And those persons were,
Yeah. This is.
by all reports, taking precautionary actions in cutting trees and removing debris, and were the victims of accidents.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, so far we have not had
Look at the
confirmed
roof peel back
reports
on
of
that
any
one.
deaths, but again, it's too soon to say that there are no
That was
deaths.
like a can
What
of
is your
like a
understanding
can of
of
sardines
Montego Bay
or
right now?
tuna
There
or
were many
something. That just
people
tipped
who
back.
were unable to leave Jamaica, that were there, I should say, on vacation, and were essentially trapped. They're at the resorts right now in those ballrooms.
Oh, they said people
Have
is
you
trapped in
had
resorts
communication
that are
with any of
there.
those hotels? Do you
Americans
understand
that are
how
out
those
on
tourists are
vacation.
doing?
Yeah, some of them got
Preliminary
stuck in the
report
resort.
from the Minister of Tourism
One family, if you
would
remember
give
yesterday, the
an
one family,
assessment
or
that
the other
some
day when we did the
hotels
beginning of
were
it,
damaged,
the
that
one
there
family was
is
stuck there and
damage
they had
to
food that was
airport
delivered.
and
I
say
wonder if we
to
could find that
extent.
article again to get an
But we
update
have
on
a
them.
fairly robust response plan.
See if they
The
actually,
tourism
flew
industry
out or if
is
they stayed and,
always prepared,
they
knowing
were,
that
I
we
mean,
are
they
in
had no
this
choice but
zone
to
where we
stay,
could
but,
be impacted by
if they made it out
hurricanes.
okay.
So I know that they're doing the best they can, and that the provisions will
They
be
said
made
they had
to
a couple
ensure
of days worth of food
our
and stuff.
guests and Jamaicans alike are in a safe place at this time.
We're seeing video of roofs ripped off buildings and hearing reports of people stranded by the floodwaters. Give us an update on the status of search and rescue operations. Have those
Search
started,
and
or is it still
rescue.
too dangerous?
Still too dangerous to do search and rescue. I've had a few reports of our fire brigade conducting some rescue operations on land, but they would have to make the assessment. From a policy perspective, we have given a directive that during the hurricane, we should,
Woo, that roof.
as best as possible, protect our response assets and respond to the most extreme emergency for which the judgment is there would be the possibility of a favorable outcome.
Have you been in touch with President Trump or the American government?
Well, I received a message from Secretary of State Rubio, and not just the United States, but we've had contact with most of the international community, for which we are grateful. We do intend to mount right after this, the hurricane has passed and it's safe to do so, a credible relief and recovery response, and we would be grateful for support to augment this response so that we can recover even better and stronger than before.
Can you share what Secretary of State Marco Rubio told you? Did they promise aid would come into Jamaica or some type of assistance?
Well, the commitment of the United States would be to support in whatever way they can, whatever way we see fit, and the areas in which we see that we would need assistance. Secretary of State and the President of the United States have always been good to us, and we've always been good and strong partners with the United States. So we're confident that whatever assistance they can render and whatever assistance we deem necessary, there would be a great effort to have that fulfilled.
Do you have any sense of what you're going to need first, whether it be water, food, electrical infrastructure?
Well, the immediate humanitarian response can always be augmented with food, immediate shelter, medicines, those kinds of things. That will be covered in the next 10 days, obviously. But the real hope will be in the rebuilding of the infrastructure so we can get our economy back on track, and so that we can rebuild a more resilient economy to withstand these more frequent and intense weather events, which is a feature of a changing climate.
Do you have any idea what Jamaica is going to look like tomorrow?
That's a difficult question to answer. to put it at scale, the entire Jamaica was affected
That was
by this
crazy. Do
hurricane.
you know what Jamaica will
But
look like tomorrow?
some areas were
Yeah,
more
hey,
affected.
and you know how they
So
say the
of our
future is
14
never
parishes,
promised
I
to
expect
anybody.
that 4 of them would have
So make sure that you live
severe
your best
damage, and
life,
that would be those
your blessed
parishes
life
in the
today,
southwestern end of the island. So we're looking at St.
because you
Elizabeth,
never know.
West
Depending on where
Pal,
you at,
St. James, Trelawney,
anything can happen.
and then there might be some impacts on Hanover and Mandeville. In the eastern end of the
This is
island, we're seeing
massive
some
destruction.
damage done in St.
Look at
Thomas.
this, trees on the houses, power lines
Generally, there
down.
would be an impact.
You said this is a massive
Roofs
destruction.
would be damaged, roads would be damaged. There would be
Why,
flooding and
certainly.
landslides, but the concentration would be in
Look
that
at this.
corridor where the hurricane hit.
And then finally, Prime Minister,
The roofs
what is
being
your
peeled back
biggest
like
concern at
cans
this
of
hour?
fruit.
Well, the biggest concern is that residents remain calm, that they stay indoors. I know the impact of the hurricane can be frightening, but now it's not the time for us to lose our presence of mind. So I appeal to all the residents to stay in and stay safe. We will
That water,
at some point issue
that
the
water was
flare,
saying.
and then we will mount the
If not,
recovery
as
and
soon as you
relief
open that
response
door,
to
you might
clear the
let in a
roads, to
flood,
make contact
depending
with
on where
communities
you
that have
at.
been marooned, to provide the humanitarian relief and to assist people with the rebuilding of their homes and businesses.
Prime Minister, we thank you for your time. We will be praying and thinking about the people of your
Prayers, and I thank the people of the United States who have reached out to us and prayed for us. Thank you.
Man,
Look, we both like, man, praying for those people over there. And that's before we get to, your next one. Let me go on and bring this to the people, because people gotta see and know what's going on. They don't report everything, as we know. They say so far, Hurricane Melissa has, I ain't gonna say that, unalived over 30 people in the Caribbean as it's headed towards the Bahamas. I mean, it ain't even finished doing what it do. Them people, like, they gotta get safe. I wonder, do they have bunkers and stuff like they got over here in the United States?
Now that's a good question. That's a good question. Think about it. They're on an island, though. The only problem with that is anywhere they be digging is going to be further closer to the water.
So it's all bad.
Yeah, when you really think about that, it is one of those goodness.
So they just need steel infrastructure, something that goes deep down in the ground. So when they building their buildings, they have a better infrastructure.
I would say, you know how we got our parking garages where they got the steel beams that go up and down?
Yeah, like reinforcement.
They need to have reinforced buildings, reinforced houses that are hurricane category 5 resistant. Not every house they're going to be able to do that to, because that's an expensive upgrade. So that's why a lot of the resorts and the bigger buildings are built like that.
Yeah.
So now you know, if you ever in one of them places and you need to be able to go somewhere to get safe, go to one of them big buildings, one of them big resort buildings. That's safer than you being down in one of them houses, because that water come in, that house might get swallowed, but that resort, you got floors to go up.
True.
You can at least get to the roof if need be.
True. I understand that, because with this right here, already 30 people, that's 30 different families. People is going to be grieving. Shoot, we grieving for them. Just even knowing that they going through this right now. Even though it's not us, but it's us. It's us, because we got to be the ones to inform the people and realize that it takes a community, it takes the United States, it takes the whole world to come together to help when things happen like this. Because you never know what can happen in your city. Like out here in California where I'm at, all them earthquakes and stuff. And then out there where you at, it's a lot of snow. People can get snowed in. You never know what happened. Houses collapse because the roofs collapse because the snow on the houses.
You're right. You're right about that. And it don't get no better once it starts happening like that, because it's like it's a steady domino effect.
Yeah, you ready to go to the next clip? Next clip.
I was trying to find one for us, but I was trying to make sure that I wasn't, finding something that wasn't gonna be too catching.
Too graphic, because we still got to keep the people, even though they seeing destruction around them, they still got to have some type of hope. So if they see nothing but destruction, then they lose hope. But they needs to know that it's people coming. It's people coming to help.
Yeah,
They
that was
gotta
the thing. Whenever they ready for it, Trump is gonna send them their help. Our Secretary of State and them have always been pretty good to them. So if that's the case, they shouldn't have too much of an issue. I mean, once they get their help, they'll be a little bit more, able to maintain. I got one for us though. We can go ahead and we got one where it's talking about how they hit record-breaking storm, meaning that's got to be the category of it, the speed of it, the amount of water that was moved. Everything that has happened with this hurricane is record-breaking.
All right, make it a little bigger before we pull it up. Yeah, okay. You ready? Hit that button.
Here we go.
And man. Well, at least we get to do the talking. Well, they said at first alert. You see where? Oh man, look at the direction.
Okay, so it's done hitting land now.
Yeah.
Once it's done with Bermuda, it'll be done hitting land.
So now they saying it's supposed to go in a different direction of what they thought.
Well, as long as it comes towards the right, it should be almost done hitting land.
Okay, I see. Look at the eye. Oh my God, look how dark it is out there. No power. Oh, there are a little power because I still. Oh, capacitors exploding. The wind is flying. Boats in people's backyards. Palm trees down on wires. Oh man.
It's going down.
It went down.
You look, Red Cross. They ready? Red Cross is ready to come and help them, the whole nine.
Whoa.
So that lets you know that they got help on the way. They just got to wait till it's safe.
Yeah, I see that.
Once it's safe to get over there, then they'll be good.
Yeah, they say what we covering. Cuba landfall. Cuba suffered significant damage after Melissa made landfall there Wednesday morning as a Category 3 hurricane. Around 140,000 people are cut off by rising river levels as the storm lashes the country and headed towards the Bahamas. Several damage. Oh, severe. My bad. Severe damage. Melissa just hit Jamaica as one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes on record. That's what you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
I
said yes.
Yeah, it caused major damage to public infrastructure. Remember, we were saying that they need to have stronger infrastructure, and left most of the island without power. The full extent of the devastation there is unclear, with some areas inaccessible. I mean, they can't even get over there. It's just so bad. Deadly storm. At least 25 people have been unalived. After a river flooded by Melissa, burst its banks. You know, the river banks just exploded. That's like the levees exploding out here.
Yeah, just overflowing. The water rose too fast.
3 more people was unalived in Haiti. Another one in Jamaica during the storm's preparations. And 1 person in the Dominican Republic. That's like this storm is hitting all of those. And they kept asking how to help. Here's how to help those impacted and how to let us know if you've been affected. Say something on these videos that y'all watching. Comment, because other people is watching these videos. And if they know that you're there and you need help, it's the only way we gonna know. It's the only way we gonna know.
You right about that one. And I was gonna say we done made our report for the day. I want to thank all y'all that came live with us today. This is your boy MB. Actually, E.T. Muad'Dib and MB. And this has been none other than the Decode Media.
Keep it lit, y'all. Keep it lit. And stay informed. Where did that go?
Yeah. I wake up, no love, this grind divine. Stack my wins, can't waste no time. They was sleeping on a kid, now I'm headline shine.
Till I wake up, it's my time to climb.
Yeah, wake up, it's my time to climb.
Hit that button, 1 million subscribe.
Well, welcome to Talk Media. I wake up trying to heal my soul. Money on my mind, but I still want growth. They was sleeping on me, now they watch me glow. I done leveled through the pain, now I'm in my zone, yeah.